Oh, now what? Hey, thanks for dropping by to Can't Let Her Die DIY channel. If you found this channel, you probably have a Kubota Zero Turn like I do. This is a 2010 Zero Turn by Kubota. ZD221 is the model, and it is fantastic. It's a diesel engine. It has mowed a ton of grass, 10 years old. I have 1,641 hours on it, and I'm just about to go out there and mow 5 acres of grass. And the grass is like a foot high, really. And then I'm going to bring it in here. You're going to see how dirty it gets. You're going to see how you got to clean out the radiator because the grass gets in the radiator. And then we're going to do the fluids on this. We are going to, first we're going to take a look at the air filter, clean the air filter out. Then we're going to change the engine oil filter. We're going to hit the transmission. We're not going to stop there. We're going to go for the transmission. Change the transmission fluid, the transmission filter, the HST transmission filter. We're going to replace it with a proper Kubota transmission fluid, the UDT transmission fluid that Kubota recommends. And we're going to put in the proper oil into the engine, the 15W40 diesel oil. It's going to be fun. We're going to have to jack it up, crawl under it. We're going to get dirty. We're going to get messy. There's going to be oil all over the place, filters going left and right. This is going to be fun. And you should come with me. So why don't you go home, throw on your old clothes, grab some tools if you want. Come join me. I'll take you right underneath. We'll go right in there. You'll help me out. I'll help you out. We'll have a great time together because this is fun. It's fun to get down and dirty and change the oils on this. Let's do it. You want to see the tools you're going to need? Come with me. I'll show you the tools you're going to need to do this job. It's tools you have in the shop. There's nothing special. Come on. Come on. I've laid them out here. This is what you're going to need. Now you're going to need some filter wrenches. This is the band type filter wrench. That's really good. That does almost all my filters except for this Zero Turn. It has a small sexy little oil filter in it, and it's too small for this one, so I use this filter wrench, which gets the smaller ones. So you might need that. You are going to need, for the transmission drain plug, a 1 1/16 inch size socket. We're talking big equipment here. We're not messing around. This is big boy stuff. And a big drive, socket drive to get it off. So that's what we're going to need for that. For the oil changes go small. There's the drain plug. It's a 14 millimeter that we're going to need for that, for the drain plug, and for the axle case. We're going to need that, and that's just an extender. These are the tools, so it's not all that specialized tools. Nothing you don't already have. And if you don't have this, that's a large socket, you can use a wrench on that. You don't really need a socket. They're better, but if you don't have it, don't go and buy one. You can use a wrench. You've got this. We've got this. I'm going to take you, I'm going to show you where all the bolts are, where everything is. We're going to do this together. I'm going to do it. You're going to do it. We're all going to save money. We're all going to have fun. We're all going to get dirty. So throw on your old clothes and let's go. I want. This is the ZD221 by Kubota Zero Turn, and it's in sad shape, isn't it? It just got done mowing 5 acres, and the grass was a foot high. I handled it no problem at all, and I did it all before any of the maintenance for the year was done on it. So I just wanted to get the grass cut before the rain came, and so I got that done. So now I'm going to clean this baby up, do the maintenance on it, and I'm going to start by blowing off all the grass clippings off of it, and then I'm going to wash her down a little bit. Wash it once a year, whether it needs it or not. And I just finished inflating the tires. You didn't need to see that. A 20 pounds per square inch on the back, 40 pounds per square inch on the front. That's what the manufacturer suggests. Now we're going to blow off some grass. So the easiest way to get rid of this grass is just to use your compressor if you have one. Probably the most important thing on general maintenance on these zero turns is to make sure the radiator is clean from debris. I know you guys probably know that, but it's so important I thought I'd say it anyway. It's a no-brainer, but it's easy to not do it. So every time before you operate, you should clean this so the engine can breathe, and the screen comes off, and you can clean it really well. But you should keep that debris free of debris. It's all caked in the sides here. So this screen just comes up. You pull it up like that. And just look at it. Can you zoom in on that and get in there? Right down in there. That's what it looks like after 5 acres. So it really needs, you really should clean this before you use it every time. And it's easy not to do it when you get busy. This is the second screen. So there's 2 screens to protect the radiator from clogging up, and it still gets by it. So we're going to clean that all out really well. Blow it out, clean this rate really well. Okay, I got rid of a lot of the grass with the compressor, blowing it off, and then I gave it a quick wipe down. Now you can start to see the Kubota orange gold Kubota. Yeah, you can see a little bit of that. It's not showroom clean, but it's clean enough from a maintenance point of view. You got to be able to see the grease fittings, and the machine has to breathe, and grass clippings and dust, it all cakes around the radiator, the transmission. That has to be kept at a reasonably cool temperature. So, just the grass clippings, the general maintenance, keeping it clean kind of helps on all that stuff. So anyway, I gave it a quick wipe down. Yours is probably much cleaner than mine, but this is as much as I'm going to do in the field here. So we wipe down the motor. I guess the next thing is to take a look at the air filter and give that a little cleaning. I imagine this is very dirty. So it comes off like that. A couple of clips. Bring it up here. And not too bad. There, got it. And there's the that is the inner filter. This filter did a good job. It has protected the inner filter from being contaminated too much. So I'll clean this off and stick it back in there, and clean inside there the air filter. Very important. But it's not looking too bad for all the dust and dirt on the outside of the machine. It did a good job keeping it from getting into the engine. Look at that. Cleaning's always the worst part, every job. But it's very important. So I got the inner filter back in the way it was. It just pushes on there. And now to get this on, this isn't in your way, the radiator. So there is an easier way. There's a band here that holds this on. So if you just pull down on that, take this band off, now you can manipulate this out of the way so that you can get this on easily and correctly. So it goes on like that. Kind of fits in there snug, and it compresses against the inner filter. And now we put the cap on, and it's marked which way is up on this cap. It's marked here, it says up with an arrow pointing up, and then it also has this arrow lining up with this other arrow over here. So you line up the arrows, make sure your clamps are out of the way on the side here, so it fits in nice and snug like that, and it clamps down on both sides. Outside's a little dusty, but the inside's perfectly clean. That's the port where any debris blows out, so if grass does get in there, it can get out, and that snugs back in there. And whatever you do, don't forget to put your band back on. Same way you took it off. Like that. Comes down like that, holds everything in nice and tight, nice and secure. We're good to go. Bingo. Air filter done. And this is the shop boss right there, sleeping on duty. Supposed to be supervising the shop, and he's sleeping on duty. He makes all the money. I do all the work. He doesn't make any money either, but he should do something, and he's doing nothing. Okay, just in case you're unsure, I'm going to show you where the transmission is. If you lift the seat up, like I've done, you pull on these things, lift the seat up. It's very heavy, but it will lift up. You can see the transmission. Now that we've cleaned it down here, you can actually see it. This is the transmission that runs here. It is filled with hydrostatic transmission fluid, which also drives the rear wheel. So it also is the rear axle fluid. So when you change that, you're changing all of it. So that's what we're going to do. Here is the filter. This is the hydrostatic fluid, transmission fluid filter that I get from Kubota. Part number 14070. I would suggest you use Kubota parts on that. It's important. This is the filler cap, and this is the dipstick. And that's how you test, just like an oil dipstick. You can see how much fluid you have. It should be within a minimum maximum range. You guys know all this. I just wanted to go over it in case there's some of you doing it for the first time. Okay, let's get this thing jacked up and let's get this oil out of this bad boy. And let's have some fun. It's time to get messy, it's time to get dirty. And that's always fun. So to drain the oil, the transmission fluid, and to drain the oil out of the engine, we have to jack it up, of course. And this is kind of an awkward machine to jack. So I wanted to show you where the jacking point is so you can safely jack it up. And that's jacking it up, not stealing it, not jacking. Anyway, I chalked the front tires for safety. And now if you come down here with me, right there's my jack, and there's a safe jacking point. Okay, on this plate here, this is where the manufacturer suggests that you put your jack and jack it up. So that's where we're going to do it, right in the center of that. It's a pretty solid area. Okay, just wanted you to see that. What are you doing that far away? You got to get in here, right into the action, what's going on. So I'll pull you right in. Come on in here with me. Get down and get dirty. Down in here, we got the jack, it's jacked up. The teeth of the jack are right in this hole that's in here. So it provides a good grip on this because it's slanted and it may have a tendency to slip on you. So take note of that. That's a good place to put it. Make sure your jack has a good grip on that hole that's on that plate. Always use jack stands. I got 2 of them here, one on either side. The frame is going to come right down nicely in the center of that jack stand. Same with that. I'll still have access to the drain plugs that I need to. It's all good. Just wanted you to see this because this is kind of an awkward thing to jack up. We're going in. Now the most important test that we do is the push test. We try to push it off the jack stands because I don't know how important your life is. Mine's very important to me. So if this is going to fall, it's better to fall now than when I'm under it because this thing is heavy. So you get it all here and you think it's safe. Give her a good... I'm pushing as hard as I can. She's solid. I'm convinced it's safe to go under. I'm going in. At this point, you're probably wondering, where the frig are those drain plugs? There's all kinds of plugs and bolts under there. Where the heck are they? Well, I'm going to show you. That's why YouTube videos are good. Let's get in here. Here's the main one. It's right in the center of the transmission, and it's quite big for a drain plug. It's 1 inch 1/16, so 1/16 of an inch. It's big, so you're gonna have to use your big boy sockets. You get to play with the big boy sockets, 1 1/16 of an inch to hook onto that. Now you may not have it, seriously, you may not have these because they don't come in your normal sets. And so you can take that off with a wrench, but you do run the risk of rounding off that drain plug. So try it. You may not need this, but I'm gonna use that. The other two drain plugs are a little more tricky. And so if you go to the gear case, the axle case, you come down here, there's bolts all the way around that holds that on. And then at the bottom, there's two 14 millimeters. You may be tempted to think that those are the drain plugs because they're at the very bottom. They're not. It's this one here. It's a little bigger. So it's the biggest bolt at the bottom of that axle case, right? It is a 17 millimeters, where all these are 14 millimeters. 14, 14, 17, right there. That's your drain plug. There's another one on the other side in the exact same place. 3 drain plugs. One in the center, 1 1/16 of an inch, and these are 17 millimeters, 2 17 millimeters. So now we're gonna get onto that bad boy and see what kind of fight it gives me. Now, I respect a drain plug that has a little bit of fight to it. Makes you earn your keep, but sometimes it's ridiculous how tight these things are on. So, let's see what kind of luck we got here. Hey, that wasn't bad. That wasn't hard at all. Might have been a better video if it was a little tougher. But anyway, you loosen that up. Okay. Once you loosen it, once you break it free, you can do it with your fingers. I'm right at the point where it's about to leak out the oil. So I'm going to get my pan. I got it right here. Now, I know you guys change oils before and that sort of stuff, but there's one thing that I do that it's very important. I don't think a lot of people do it. Take your pan and make sure you clean your pan out really clean. Like get a clean rag and clean it right out so you know that there's no dirt filings, metal filings, or grit in that pan. So then when you collect your transmission oil, you can examine it. You pour it out, you examine the bottom of that pan, see if there's any grit in there. That way you'll know that came from the transmission. And if there's metal filings in there, then you have a problem. It's indicative of some sort of problem within the transmission. And it may mean your transmission is going to fail at some point, sooner than later. So hopefully your oil is clean, doesn't have any metal filaments in it, no particles, and hopefully it's all good. That's what I do. I think a lot of people skip that step, and then when they have gritty at the bottom, they're not sure if it was originally in the pan. So helpful hint. Anyway, it's time to get busy here, and it's time to get messy. And like I always say, at every point in every job, there's a point where it gets messy. I think this is it for this one. So we're going in with a clean pan. We loosen that drain plug, and we're going to see what comes out. And there it is. And it's going right in the pan. We're catching it. That's really good. You got that? Good. Hey, so we're going for the middle one now. Middle drain plug, 1 1/16 of an inch. You guys getting dirty yet? I know I got a little greasy. Oh, there. A little bit of fight to that one. I think you can get that with a wrench. But if you have the socket, use the socket because it doesn't round them off. And pans in there, and there we go. And that's it. So I've drained the oil here and over there and in the center. I've drained it here and I put that plug back in. Now I'm going to take out the strainer. Right here is the same 1/16" size bolt that you remove, and there's a strainer in there. So we're going to clean the strainer. Guess what, folks? That strainer is not coming off. It did slip a little bit, so I'm scared I'm going to round that bolt off, even with this big boy, the bad boy socket. I don't really have enough room to get any leverage on there. And you know what? At this point, the transmission fluid wasn't that dirty. I'm gonna keep moving on. I'm not gonna take off that strainer. I can't quite get it off with the tools I have out here. I would need a better socket, a metric socket, because this one functions, but it is standard sizes and it doesn't quite fit perfectly, and I don't want to round it off. I don't know what the metric conversion would be, how many millimeters that would be, but it would be, this is a little bit on the big side, so moving right along. We're not done with oils, we're just getting started here. Now we're going to change the engine oil. So we're going to drain the engine oil, change the filter. So if you come to the engine here, underneath the hood, right there, there's the filler plug, has oil on it. Just unscrew that, loosen that up so that air can go in there as we drain out the oil from underneath. Air will go in there from the top. Let's check out the oil and see how dirty it is. This is your dipstick. You guys know this, but I'll point it out anyway. Oil dipstick. It's right in the middle. It's black. Diesel oil is black, runs a lot blacker, but that looks like it's a good time to change it. Needs changing. And there's the oil filter. See how small that is? Sexy little oil filter by Kubota. I like it. It's cool. That's coming off. We got a new one of those. Part number HH150-32430. Made in China. But this is a Kubota oil filter, and I do recommend, I do try to save money, but when it comes to oil filters, I do like to use Kubota oil filters. Kubota does a good job making their machines, and they're all based on their specifications on oil filters, and I do like their oil filters. Keep up the good work, Kubota. Now let's get busy. Go back underneath, drain the oil. And the shop boss is still down and out. Look at this. Let him sleep. Okay, the oil drain plug is located right here. Right where you jacked up, right next to it. That's the oil drain plug. In a good spot. It's a 14 millimeter. And it's pretty easy access on that. That's about the right level of tightness for that. Just snug it up. Don't over tighten these things. Okay, let's get the oil filter off. So here's your band filter wrench, oil filter wrench. As you see, this fits almost everything except this filter. It's too big. It's not going to be effective. Luckily, I do have this one. I've had these small filters before, so this wrench It's kind of good for small filters, but it is kind of awkward to use. And you only have to turn it a little bit, and then you can turn it off with your hands once you have it loosened up. There we go. And off goes the sexy little oil filter. We'll get our pan underneath there. Already had enough oil spills, we don't need any more. So I positioned the pan to catch the drips that are going to come off of this oil filter. I've already loosened it, and now just hand unloose it as quick as you can. Try to catch as much oil as you can in the filter. It's dripping down into the pan, and then hold it like that, and I got it filled up to there with oil. So that's it right there. Diesel oils, black. And off goes the old, on goes the new. Okay, the new oil filter by Kubota. Comes in that box, and it goes right on there. You got to make sure you don't double gas get these oil filters. So always make sure that the gasket comes off with the old oil filter, doesn't stick onto the engine. It would be right there. It's not there, so it's on the old filter. And you want to make sure there's a little bit of oil here and right there, so that it performs a little better seal. There it is. And that goes on like that. Just like that. And you only have to turn it like 3/5 of a turn after it makes contact. So it's just like that, hand tight. That's all you need. That's good installed. I'll get a rag and wipe it down. Okay, back to the transmission. We have a filter on the transmission we're going to change out. The HST filter right here. It's 14070. The band filter wrench fits this one. So you get it on like that, and you turn it a little bit. And it loosens up. And there should be a little bit of oil spillage, but not too much. And up we go. There's the rubber gasket still on the old filter. That's the transmission, HST transmission filter. Right there, made by Kubota. Off goes the old and on goes the new. Okay, the new filter comes in this box. I took off the plastic. I just wanted to show you, there's the new HST filter. Same part number I already showed you. Has the gasket on there. You can take some oil, transmission fluid, and we can ring the gasket. Let's try it. Down there, clockwise, and okay, right there, it makes contact right there. So now we're going 4, 1, 2. There. Basically, hand tight. Get it on as tight as you can with your hands, and that's good. Okay, it's time to put the fluid back into the transmission, the hydrostatic transmission fluid. Kubota recommends their transmission fluid, UDT. This is important. There's no real equivalent to this. You really have to get it from Kubota. It wasn't that, I was surprised it wasn't that expensive. I thought, oh, they're gonna really nail you on this, but they didn't. It's fairly priced. UDT, it's because the transmission fluid operates more than just the transmission. So I'll just read it here. It says, it's a high quality Kubota approved tractor UDT fluid. It is specially formulated for transmissions and wet brakes, as well as power steering and power takeoff units with wet clutches, and is conceived for all makes of tractors as well as construction machinery. It is an all-season universal type tractor fluid. So that's what it calls for. That's what we're putting in, because you don't mess around with transmissions. Important piece of this machine going in. It's got a cool container. It's got a pull tab here. You snap that and that comes up. Easy to pour, I guess. It takes 7.5 liters, which is quite a bit, but we did drain the transmission fluid and the wheel case gears in there as well on both sides, so it's quite a bit. 7.5 liters. This is 5 right here. I got more on the shelf, and I thought I could do it without a funnel, but I don't want to make any more messes, so I'm going to get a funnel. Be right back. Okay, this is my clean funnel. I have a clean funnel and a dirty funnel. Clean funnels for the oil going in, dirty funnels for me examining the dirty oil coming out. Now you got to, so this is going to take 7.5 liters, but you want to pour it in slowly because it will overflow the nozzle there. Anyway, I will get 7.5 liters in there, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, time to put the oil in the engine. This is what I'm using. Kubota, you can get Kubota oil 15W40 for diesel engines, and what I found out, they don't have an oil refinery. They use Shell Rotella. Rotella, right here, T4. This is the same as the Kubota oil. So I bought a pail of it because it's a lot cheaper to buy it in bulk, and you're kind of cutting out Kubota a little bit on that, so that's good. If you want to save money, pick up this stuff. This is a dealer used oil. So where you have to use Kubota's transmission fluid there, the UDT, you don't have to buy Kubota oil. So I got this when it was on sale, and I use it in all my diesel tractors. It's good. Now, I don't want any of those things getting in there. So the capacity is 3 liters. I'm going to put 2 in and then start checking it with the dipstick, because you never get all the oil out, and if you put in the capacity, what the manual says is the capacity of the engine, you will overfill it every time. So that is 2 there, I would say, 2 liters, and we'll let that get in there nicely, and when it does, we'll check the dipstick and see how close we are to full. Okay, we got everything done here. We got we changed out the filters, the HST hydrostatic transmission filter, changed that out. We changed the oil, put in UDT, Kubota's UDT transmission fluid, hydrostatic transmission fluid. And we also did the engine oil over here. We changed the sexy little oil filter and put a new one on. We put in around 2.5 liters, almost 2 3/4 liters of 15W40 diesel Shell Rotella oil, which is the same oil that Kubota uses. So we're good there. That's done. That's done. We've confirmed, we've cleaned up underneath on all the plugs, so if there's any leaks, we will know those are new leaks. If the oil filters are leaking, we will know because they've been cleaned. we'll see the drops. So the next day or two using this, I'll be checking it for any leaks or anything. So what I've done was lower it back down, and I redid both the dipsticks, took them out, because now it's on a level surface, and I confirmed it still is right where we want it to be, right in the middle between minimum and max on both the dipsticks. So we are good. We got the oils in, we got the right oils, we got the right oil filters, we got, this thing is gonna purr like a kitten. And we're all good, so I'm excited to go tell the shop boss that we're done here and see what he thinks. Because it's always good to have the boss. When the boss is happy, you're happy. Let's go check on him. Okay. Shop boss. We're at the shop boss's office. Here he is. He's been here supervising the job all day. Hey, shop boss. Shop boss. We're done. We're done. Hey, we're done. Do you want a treat? Do you think you deserve a treat? Let's go. Are you gonna check it out? Oh, you're excited now. You want a treat, do you? You want a treat? Want to go? Let's go. We're all done. Woohoo! There we go. There we go. All right, we are done. Yes. Okay. Listen, I tell you, you know what? The shop boss is happy. He says we've done a good job. He's pretending to be asleep the whole time. Okay, stop, boss. Let me talk. He's happy. I'm happy. Looks like we got a good job done. Hopefully it helped you guys out. Tried to make it a little funny. I don't know. I find it funny. Hopefully you do too. Hopefully it helps you out. There's a few helpful hints in there. It's really good. I had fun here today. This was fun. I hope you did. And I hope I helped you out. And if I did, help me out and like and subscribe if you will. You don't have to, of course, but I would like you to. And send me some comments. I love hearing how I helped somebody. And if I haven't, send those comments too. Remember, you can do this. You've got it. You've got this.